So thank you everyone for being here, and let's get started now. And I'm going to just start with my sharing my PowerPoint here. Welcome everyone to the Career Reboot Challenge, and we're in day one of our Career Reboot Challenge today. And we're going to be exploring your number one career clarity hack. And we're going to be doing this over the next 3 days, and we're going to cover a different topic each day. So get ready to get rebooted, everyone. For people new to AirMe, it's a bit different to Zoom. I think most people have Zoom as second nature these days, but you've got a chat box there and you can chat to each other and to me in there. There's also a little bubble with a Q in it that's for questions. So you're welcome to pop things in there, or if it's easier in the chat, I'm going to ask Rosa, Yash, and Paul, who are all my support team, to pull out any questions that might be jumping in the chat that I might miss, or you can put it in the questions tab too. And so they're the main controls. I'll see if I've got. No, I'm not going to do a poll today. That will complicate things. So maybe that'll be for tomorrow. Okay, so you will also be getting the recordings of these for the next week. They'll be available. And our VIPs are going to have them forever and ever and ever. So VIPs, you know who you are. Okay, so let's get started here and make an acknowledgement. So wherever you are, I invite you, if it's something that is meaningful for you, to consider that where you live, work, and play is located, whatever territory that is. And for me, I'm located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish peoples of the Kikite First Nations. And I did have to look up how to pronounce that. And Lisa Nichols, who was one of my wonderful mentors from afar, she's an amazing inspirational speaker and talented at many other things. But she has these great quotes, and I want to start off today by, "You will never find your next best version of you sitting inside your comfort zone." And so I chose a skydiver because in my younger days, I jumped out of a plane, and I didn't obviously die, but I smashed my ankle, so that was definitely uncomfortable. It was fun for a few seconds in free fall, but that's a whole nother story. In any case, so I'm inviting you all to be out of your comfort zone here for today and the next 3 days and being in this challenge. You're in the right place if any of these images resonates with you. If you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you are feeling that you're lost in your career, you might not be where you want to be in your career, and you might have your own versions of what this would be. And for me, it was in career anxiety, and I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. But just checking, what sort of career challenge are you feeling that you're in? And I created this challenge for you, feeling challenged in your career. There's a lot of challenges. I want to share with you about Tim, and because of my counselling status and confidentiality, I withhold the names of my clients for confidentiality unless they are okay for me to allow that, but I default to pseudonyms. So Tim came to me in his 50s, and he had a very much a mismatch or a square peg in round hole in terms of his values and the work environment that he was in. And he found his his immediate boss. He actually reported to the CEO. It was a small company, created a very toxic environment, He was an in-house web designer at the time, and he'd been there for 5 or 6 years, but just wasn't able to find his way out of it. By the time Tim and I finished working together in the Entrada program, he had decided to actually change. He went and changed to another job for a little while and went and worked as a contract with someone else. But then after that, he actually decided that he wanted to go into his own consulting services business, which he had been doing on the side in terms of his web designing. But the outcome of our process of working together after a few months was career clarity, having a sense of autonomy and independence, and overall increased well-being, because he had a lot of anxiety and even depression, unfortunately, when he was in that role in that workplace. But he had overall greater flexibility too. So just wanted to share the story of Tim with you all. And think of Tim and what your story might be that could be similar to Tim's in your own way, although the details might be different. And as we move over the next 3 days with our Career Reboot Challenge, and we're going to spend the first day is today, as we're talking about, with the Career Clarity Hack, and I'll introduce that to you. And tomorrow, day 2, we're going to help you get unstuck in your career. And so there's that rebooting theme. And then the third will up-level your career. So I will offer you the tools, the techniques, the experiences to help you be able to do that. And who am I? For those of you who don't know me, my name is Rachel Newton. I'm going to actually stop presenting here so that you can see me really. So I am an integrative career coach, and I have been doing this work opening my doors in 2011, and they were actually doors back in 2011 because we weren't in this COVID environment. And so I started my practice then, but I did my own career pivot 13 years ago. And prior to that, I say that my decades, which was over 2 decades, was like wandering the vocational desert. And I get so excited when I hear clients use that language for themselves, not because I want them to be in the desert, but it's just, I love sharing something that resonates with clients. And I went from career anxiety, and now I'm in career awesomeness, and this is my career oasis, doing this sort of work with you all. So thank you for being here. And so today we're going to be exploring ways to help you reboot your career, as I said. And so let me just come back to my slides to share with you what we, oh, sorry, actually, before I do that, did everybody receive a session guide in their emails? Can I get people to, okay, so I'm seeing some emojis. Did anybody not receive them? Because if they didn't, I'm going to ask Rosa to drop the link to download the session guide. I'll just quickly show you. I'm going to say no news is good news. I'm not seeing any no's in the audience. Okay, so just going to give you a quick glimpse as to what I'm talking about in the session guide. And my wonderful speaker coach and presentation coach, Patricia, had this idea because I like to, oh, you don't have one, Rachel. Rosa, can you please drop the link in the chat for the for Lynn to download the reboot challenge? So it's just a quick guide here. I'm just going to whip through this, and it's basically just for you to follow along and to be able to fill out the information while we're going along, just to help you be able to feel more engaged. So that's the information there. It might be in a promotions folder if you've got a Gmail. Have you got the link there, Rosa? Okay, I'll drop it here. I've got it here. So it might have gone into a subfolder. So the link is just there, and so hopefully you'll all receive that. And so that's in lieu of giving you the slides because my slides are really more about experience rather than information. So this is a really good workaround. So thank you, Patricia. Okay, so let's come back to my, and also I forgot to say we'll be together for an hour today, an hour tomorrow, and 90 minutes on day 3, which is Thursday. So let me bring the slides back up. So we have a plan today. So, oh, Kate, sorry. Actually, that's you must have McAfee, which I do too. It isn't risky. um, Kate's just put in the chat that when she clicks on my website link, it says about it being risky because for the last year I've been asking McAfee, and my web guy has been trying to help me take that away. So if I'll email it to you afterwards, Kate, if you're not feeling comfortable to click on that link, but I can assure you it is safe to go there. It's just McAfee has some settings and they flagged my website, which is really annoying because I'm also a McAfee customer. So yes, so our plan for today is we're going to set an intention in a moment, and we're going to be learning and talking more about clarity. I'll be showing you the career hack that I was telling you about, which is my career criteria activity. And there'll be a demonstration with one of our kind audience members. Any questions I'll cover then if I haven't covered them during the presentation, during our master class here. And then we'll cover everything and prepare for day 2. So that's a really quick overview of what we've got to cover in the next 46 minutes according to my clock. So let's start off with intention. And you may wish to, if you're looking at the guide, you've had a chance to print it off, you've got a slightly different image, but it's just to have the sense of having intention allows wherever your intention is going, that's where your attention and your energy is going. And so, what would be the best intention that you can choose to have for this time that you're investing today? Your time is really precious, and I appreciate that you're spending it here with me. But how can you choose an intention that will make this a really valuable investment of your time? So, I'll just give you a couple of minutes there. And perhaps while I'm doing that, I'll drop I'll drop you an email, Kate, so you can have that. Okay, so hopefully hopefully we've got something written down, or we might have just thought about it for an intention today. And if anybody would like to share in the chat, it's not a have to, but you're welcome to share in the chat, or even drop an emoji if you set an intention and you found that helpful. And I'll also I forgot to include the people who are in Facebook land and YouTube tuning in live, that you'll be able to get these guides afterwards, or if you register, you'll get it from the link too. So, but hopefully you've set intentions as well. And so moving along here, I also want to let you know that, again, thank you for coming live. And because you're interacting and coming live here, there will be gifts and bonuses, and I'll tell you about them at the end of the session. And I also am going to be offering for anyone who comes for the next 3 days and they stay the full time, I will be offering an extra bonus, and that will be in regards to my membership. And I will tell you more about that, but it will be something that I'll reveal to you more on day 3 on Wednesday. So, oh, Thursday, sorry, is day 3. I've forgotten what day it is. So there's some bribery and some gifts there because it's a gift for me that you're all here as well. Um, it's funny you should say that, Kate. Maybe we can manifest that. Okay, Kate was asking about chocolate. Okay, so we're here, and I was talking about career clarity, and I would like to drop this in. I'm going to just drop a little prompt in the chat about what happens when you have clarity. And I'll just invite you to explore how you're going to answer that. Okay, and I maybe you've got clarity of how much you like chocolate or how much you miss chocolate. I can see someone, Matt, chatting in there about giving up chocolate for Lent. So if you'd just like to take a moment there, fill out on your session guide, or even drop in the chat here when you have clarity. What comes up for you when you have clarity? We'll just take a minute there as well. And okay, I'm getting a lot of chats about chocolate, but not clarity. So I'm going to just offer to you some of the things that came up from other people. And actually, you've got it in your session guide. If you're looking in your session guide, some of the things that came up were for people were. I think I have just over. Okay, I put so here's some of the, I'll have to flip my slides around here, but here's from what other clients have said when they have clarity. They feel more clear and relaxed, they can feel more grounded, they have more of a long-term vision, they can feel freer and have more options. Empowerment, wonderful, Lynn, I love that. And being able to see the path and the way forward. And so some of those might resonate for you, or you, like Lynn, might have some other ones. So I'll invite you to imagine if there's an image or a feeling or both that comes up for you when you have clarity. And if we were exploring this in a longer workshop, more interactive, I would also invite, we'd be talking about when you don't have clarity, but my imagination is that you're here because there's a sense of having that, and patience is another thing. Angela, thank you. That was offered too. So so let's just pop back here in terms of the career clarity hack that has been so helpful to a lot of my clients. And it was, I can't actually remember how, this might have been an exercise that I had to do when I was training for my professional career development studies. But if you can explore for yourself, think about when you are going to go away or make a big purchase, like camera or a computer, a camera for my husband who has that photography as a budding career artist, and so thinking about that, or just a big purchase, a big significant decision even, and when you think about doing that in terms of making a list of criteria and now apply it to doing for your career. And some of you may have heard of this concept already, but I'm repeating it here because repetition is so key to us being able to onboard information and to create new habits that are going to help us for. So I just wonder if people want to let me know if this idea is making sense of them or to them, or even if it is something that you do in terms of helping you get clear about what you want to do for your holiday, or you're buying a home or a car or anything like that, or even a phone. So I'll let you have a think about that. And that's that slide again that was in the wrong order. So this is mine. It's just like combining my love of dogs and travel. So imagine that you're going on a trip and how helpful, for me, it's helpful to make a list like, do I want a camping trip? Do I want to lie on a beach? Do I want to go visit my family in Australia? Or maybe my family down south of the border and my friends, or people in the Philippines and Mexico, Rosa and Yash. Thank you, Jonathan. It is a cute dog. You have to thank the PowerPoint stock photos for that. So I'm going to ask you to either grab a piece of paper, or you can tap on your phone, your tablet, or your computer, or use the session guide that some of you have received, and go through there and think about walking through different aspects of your workday. And in a moment, I have invited, and she bravely said yes, Angela will be coming up and helping me walk through this for you, with you as a demonstration. So I'll just let you prepare yourself for that, Angela. But we're just going to walk through here. So in the career criteria activity, we just are going to explore going from the beginning of your ideal workday, and it's the ideal workday. So it's like the best possible workday that you can imagine. And then making a list just in your head, just start to move through your day from the beginning all the way to the end of your day being when you go to sleep. And you'll look at things like environment, but also salary, look at how much time you want off, things like benefits and bonuses, and the sort of people that you want to work with. There's just some prompts here. So and in terms of capturing them, if you write them down, and as you think of them, and there's also in your session guides there's somewhere for you to capture that. And then you're going to use this list to focus on that amazing career that you would ideally want to have. So let's have a look at this in action. Hope this is making sense for people too. And so let's just, after you do that, I invite you to share it with a friend, share it with someone else, even a trusted co-worker that you might have, or a family member, somebody to share that with. And now I'm just going to pop this up and invite Angela to the stage. So let me find you here, Angela, so I can invite you here. And hopefully if you were on Zoom before or something else, you'll have your camera and your mic available there. And I'm going to stop presenting here. We're taking the career criteria activity for a test drive while we're waiting for Angela to come up here. And oh, here you are, Angela.
Can you hear me and see me?
I can hear you, Angela. Would you like to turn your camera on, or you?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's up to you if you want to just stay on audio, if we have you on video.
Oh, audio's fine, I guess. You don't
Okay.
see the back of my messy house right now. And I've got a bit of a cold, and that's why I'm even home this week. So
Oh, no. So,
no
okay,
worries,
well,
no worries.
hopefully you're staying inside and nice and warm out of that cold snow. So, everybody, can we please give Angela a warm welcome to say thank you for being our volunteer here? So, I'll look at all those emojis for you, Angela. So, we won't keep you too long because if you've got a cold and should be resting, and I'll send you over my turmeric elixir,
Oh,
which, yeah, so it's a very yummy one inspired by an elixir from Salt Spring, actually, so
oh,
many years ago, but I've adapted it. In any case, so that's your bonus, Angela. So,
appreciate it.
um, so Angela, so let's start. And I think you're familiar with this exercise a little bit, right?
Yes, I am. Yes, I've
Okay,
heard you go through it before. Yes.
okay, okay, okay. And that doesn't matter that you've already heard me go through it, because did you have a chance to do it for yourself yet?
I did, and I'll be honest, it's something I have done on my own just intuitively and uh, similar.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. And have you written it down
I
and
have. Yes.
okay. And how was that when you did it on your own?
It
Was
was
that
good. It was good because I've done something similar, but not like you start your day and how you want to
Oh,
end your day. It's more like, okay, what would I want to be doing and what am I looking for? So this was an interesting way of doing it and very helpful.
wonderful. Oh, thank you. Yeah, and there are many different versions, all roads lead to Rome, but this is the version that I like to do with clients and find really helpful. So let's just spend a couple of minutes here, Angela, and you know, again, this is your ideal, most amazing work day.
Oh, I think my workday sounds actually quite boring here, but I just, this is what I would be happy with. And I think for me is, should I just start and just tell you what
Yeah,
the
yeah. So what like are you starting in the morning?
I'm starting in the morning. I like getting up in the morning. So I'd get up at 6, have my breakfast, journal, exercise, drop my son off at work, and then get ready for work. But, I'd start at 9 or 9:30, depends if I'm working from home or need to go into an office. But what I really like is the idea of having my own time and being flexible. I'm in charge of from where I work and the hours I work.
And
S
do you have that now, Angela?
No, I don't have that
Okay,
now.
okay.
No, I'm available 24/7 right now in the
Oh
work
my
I do.
goodness.
So
Okay.
this would
So you
be
know what you don't want,
I know what I
what you
don't
have
want.
now.
Yeah, yeah, and I have to say I love what I do. It's just I've been doing it for 20 years, so it'd be nice. I'm just, looking for, to eventually to have a change. Um, and I think when I'm at work, I'd be working in an industry that's global. My work
Mm,
is international, and it's what I love about my work,
mm. Yeah.
and I would want that, or it's my role is something that allows me to take a lot of time off so that I can travel because I've always traveled
And
all my life.
travel for vacation, not for work. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
and even
Okay.
for work, I don't need to actually travel for work. It'd be great
Okay.
if I'm in control of it when I travel for how long, you know. But I do want it to be global.
Okay. So you know that, and you're okay to have, like, would you be in the office that is headquartered, or would you be in a remote office and the headquarters is somewhere else in the world? Does that
Uh,
matter?
either one, either one would
Okay.
be fine. Either
Okay.
one.
And is
Um,
that a large company then? Like, what sort of head count? Do you have a sense?
so this is, I mean, either it's so funny because either I see myself just being an entrepreneur, working on my own, or um, if it's global, it's probably a larger company. But at the same
Mhm.
time, one of the things that I getting a little tired of right now is the complexity of all the
Mm.
players, all the stakeholders so that's a good question. I'm trying to figure that out myself.
Okay, so when I hear that's a good question, and we unfortunately don't have the time to
Yeah.
unpack it in this short amount of time, but I'm going to invite you to write that down if you haven't already, Angela, because that's
Okay.
something for you to journal on or to sit with or talk out with someone, talk out with me. So just to let everyone know, Angela and I have had a couple of sessions. So I reached out to her when I knew that she was coming here. So
Oh,
Angela, thank you. So we'll end the little. You made it really easy because I didn't even have to ask you any of the questions because you've already been so thoughtful about this. But we
thank
still
you.
bumped into something that is a more of a wondering point, a curiosity for you,
Yes.
even though you've
Yes.
you've been thinking about this.
Mhm.
So, is there a sense of how this might be helpful for you in terms of leading you to career clarity, Angela?
Yes, because as I was writing, I'll be honest with you, there was some other questions that came up for me that I really need to still process and maybe journal on or just take a walk or something, I don't know, or maybe research a bit more. Yes, because there's still confusion there, of course.
Yeah, yeah, and it's all of the above. And this is one piece, and it'll be interesting to check in with you at day 3 to see if
Mhm.
some more of this is coming together.
That would
So,
be
thank
great.
you so much for that, Angela.
Thank you.
Okay, take care. And I'll just let everybody know if there's some FOMO happening here. Angela is a VIP, so we're going to be going together afterwards to have a to in the exclusive VIP room. So thank you again, Angela. And I'm
Thank you.
going to work out how to
And thanks everyone for listening.
and everyone, thank you to Angela again. And even though she's not 100%, she certainly turned up 100%. So thank you, Angela. Oh, there's some emojis for you, Angela. So thank you, everyone. Okay. So let's hopefully you've all got a bit more of a sense of the career criteria activity, and you'll see in your session guides there's some more information there as well, and you'll also have the replay to refer to here. So I just want to give you uh, a quick sharing of where we are in this in terms of what this all looks like. And Angela alluded to something, and I didn't even pay her, but she just naturally went there that career clarity is part of a bigger picture. So, this is one thing that can be really helpful, and oftentimes I will even use this career criteria activity if I'm only going to be seeing a client once or twice. We might spend a few minutes on there, and then I offer them to take away to keep on thinking about it, much like Angela was saying that she's done. But this is part of a bigger picture, and my whole program is the Intrada Career Connection. There's another video on that if you're interested, but I just wanted to, the reason I'm sharing this with you is just to let you know it's part of some of the things that might have been coming up that Angela's alluding to. There might have been some of these aspects of limiting beliefs, fears coming up, and so helping you change to empowering beliefs and confidence. Then absolutely, that's part of the program too. And Jonathan, thank you for being here. Hopefully, you'll catch the replay, and good luck to Andreas. So it's just Jonathan's just sending his regrets for leaving. So the career criteria is actually in the discover or through the assessment stage of my program, but I do pluck it out because it can be so impactful. And so this is part of what Angela's probably speaking to is in terms of that there's this piece as this one piece of clarity, but it's part of a bigger picture as well. And that's the last layer is the do stage, which again, this is an overall map. So that's just to kind of put in context for you. And I just wanted to share with you and speak to you about the idea of community, and my experience of community is stronger and better together. As you saw with, with all us here encouraging Angela, and then me engaging with Angela as well, of just that when we're in community and we've got some experiences with other people, we can be getting other ideas that are coming from them as well. So just going to drop that in there because that's part of this experience of us all doing this together and being here together is in community. And I'll be saying more about that tomorrow, and then on the third day, in day 3, let you know about my membership a bit more. And so, as part of that, I just want to have you consider that this was like the first part of the career reboot challenge in the career clarity hack. And so that's part 1. And tomorrow we're going to start doing get unstuck in your career, and then finally to up level your career. So that's in the holistic and the overview there as well. And I just wanted to offer to you a challenge opportunity for something to push yourselves, and it might feel uncomfortable, but it's for you to have a look at for tonight for yourselves before day 2 tomorrow. And so I'm just going to bring up the session guide to show you the reference for this. And you might have already, for those of you who have the session guide, you might already have had a look at this and wondered, oh, what is this that she's got in here? So I'm going to share with you, thank you, Yash, for helping put this together. And Yash is my operations assistant in the Philippines there. So if you have a look at your session guide, and at the very back of it, this is all the information. Instead of slides, you've got this information here. And there's some different information. It's slightly a little bit more information than what we can cover here in this limited time together. And I also wanted to offer to you, so this is your first challenge opportunity. Okay, so where are we? Okay, number 1. Sorry, I went too far. Okay, so it's actually for you to go through. As you were listening to Angela and I, you might have thought about some of your own, what would your day look like? What would it be like for you to, would you want to work for a global company? Is traveling important to you? So for you to go through and do your own career criteria activity for yourself tonight before tomorrow. And here's some starter questions, which are the same ones that I had put up, and this is all in your guides too. So looking at like how many hours a week you want, are you going to be working from home or external? Would you like a hybrid version? Angela spoke about, she doesn't like the complexity of what can happen in terms of the dynamics for a global company, but she does enjoy the work itself. And so I wonder, one thing that, I might discuss with Angela or other clients who have been in this position, if you were to consider consulting work as an example. So you could have a project that goes for a few months and you're in the complexity with these big global companies and really challenging your brain in many different ways. And then perhaps you can take a break from that contract. So there can be a little bit of both and there. And then what sort of pace would you like to be in terms of the workplace? Do you want fast pace? Do you want something slower? Do you want something that's more spacious, or just to be in time, to have your own time freedom? And your compensation. So how much do you want? And looking at that annually or monthly, how that's going to look. Do you want to lead? And then this might also prompt some of your own questions. And I do have a more comprehensive guide available, and that is, if you're interested in that, there is an investment in that. So just let me know if you're interested in hearing more about that. But for this should at least get you going for today. And then here's somewhere to put your answers. And then observing if there's what's coming up as you're looking at your answers. And if there's any patterns, you might cluster some of your answers there. And if there's any research. So Angela even said, there's still some research, there's some things that she's still coming up, and it's a little bit cloudy for her. So this is just helping distill down that clarity as well, but starting with this career clarity hack of the career criteria activity. So I'm not seeing any questions here, so I'm just making sure that people are still okay, and I'll just keep proceeding. The second opportunity, thank you for the emoji there. The second opportunity for you to push yourself, because this is a challenge, so it's making you work here, much like that slide I showed you with the kettlebells, is actually getting clarity through the clarity tool. And this was actually introduced to me from a workshop I did with Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi a couple of years ago, and they had generously allowed us to make this our own. So just really going into it, I won't go into the details here because you've got that in front of you, but you might want to challenge yourself to have a look at this clarity tool in your workbook as well, and where do you want to be in a year's time, and so there's some questions there. And if it's career that you're wanting to focus on, that would be what you'd be looking at here, but you could be focusing on other aspects of your life too where you want some clarity. And then this is a even more challenging part, the 7 layers deep, or the helping you get to your deeper why. And there's a little instructions that I have on another video that some of you might have encountered on my website too, that kind of walks you through this a little bit more. But this can be really challenging, and I do this with have them clients do it on their own, and then I will do it with a client, and it's really interesting to see. It's like excavating and scraping away if you're doing it with someone, or if you're not doing it with me, I'd invite you to do it with a trusted friend. And then what capabilities are you going to need to make this happen? So there's a couple of challenges for you all to do before we meet again tomorrow. And I'm just going to stop here. Does anyone have any questions about those challenges? Oh, a good question about for people in retirement. Well, you're looking at your career in terms of it's a different transition, it's a different life change. So you're still doing things and you're still having activities in retirement, but what sort of retirement would you like? So helping you explore that. Be really interesting to hear um, if you when you do these challenges, what happens in terms of your answers. No matter if you're in a career, a lot of clients that I work with actually end up going into their own work in consulting, and then also I have clients who are in the end of their career too, the what I call the twilight career. So they will be winding down their main careers, but they still want to do something meaningful. So all these exercises can be helpful for that too. That's a great question. Thank you. Couldn't see who. Oh, okay. So that was from Matt. Rosa, interesting. I'm not sure. Is that a question or just a comment? Okay, I'll let you drop something more there if you want. So, oh, okay. I'm getting some more chats here. Angela likes the idea of the twilight career. So maybe if we've got time, I might share some more about that. Otherwise, I will. We can talk about it in the VIP lounge there, Angela. Okay. Okay, so where are we here in that? Okay, there's the challenge opportunities. Okay, and there's the second one. So who's feeling up to those challenges? Who's going to push themselves to those challenges? We'll find out. Okay, and one thing that is helpful for me when I'm creating this sort of challenge and this sort of event as well is feedback. So I just would love to invite you. There's a feedback link in the session guide, and there's also um, a, a link here if you want to grab it, just to let for you to let me know how I've done, so I can make this better for you and to improve it for other clients going forward too. So I'd love to hear that in terms of how I can be helpful for you. Speaking of being helpful, as we start to wind down, and it's gone super quickly today, before we do, so I'll tell you what, let me just I just want to do a quick check before I tell you why this little doggy, who actually kind of looks like Zuzu, is in the snow. But are there any final questions before we start to wind up? Okay. So I got this little doggy just because there's so much snow in this part of the world right now in Vancouver, Metro Vancouver. And so what was helpful, I'm just going to give you a moment. If you could take a moment to jot down what has been helpful for you today. Are there two or three things that has stood out for you as takeaways or what's helpful? And it's just like helping you get out of the snow like this cute little doggy. Just so I'm just going to give you a couple of moments there, and if you would like to drop that in the chat, once again, you're welcome um, to to do that and pop that in the chat. Or if somebody would like to come on stage, I can invite you on stage too, if you're feeling brave like Angela was. Sharing and the guide is great. Oh, thank you, Angela. That's the first time I've used the guide format, and I really prefer it too. So thank you for that. And I'll let Patricia, my wonderful speaker presentation coach, let uh, let I'll let her know that as well. And if you've got any improvement ideas for the guide after you've been it or reviewed it, please let me know as well, because that was my very first one. So you were the first to experience that. So okay, not seeing any more. So hopefully you've jotted something down for yourself, or you've thought of something that was helpful. Maybe you need to noodle on this a little bit more to do a takeaway, or watch the replays that'll be available for the next week. And so to wrap up what we did today in this incredibly short amount of time as we were together is that I introduced you to the challenge that we're going to be on and we're almost at the close of day one already. And I introduced you to the career clarity hack today, and then tomorrow we're going to be having a look at getting unstuck in your career, and then finally to up leveling your career. So that's just to give you the lay of the land: an hour today, an hour tomorrow, and then for 90 minutes for our grand finale on day 3. I also let you know about Tim as my case study client, and just you might think about, okay, so that was Tim's story, but what's my story that could be like Tim's, of going from this sense of he was in real crisis when he first reached out to me, and then he found clarity and was able to move into something that was much more aligned with his values and his overall well-being, not just in his career but his life too. And then we set an intention. So I would be really curious if for the intention that you chose and where you decided to put your energy for this hour together today, if you feel that you fulfilled that intention. and you're welcome to just jot that down for yourself about where you are in relation to your intention, that into your guide or into your journal or notes, wherever you're keeping notes. And then also, if anybody again wants to be brave and share with the group here in the chat, you're welcome to do that too, about how your intention went for you today. And then, of course, I introduced you to the career criteria exercise and that activity, and gave you some tools and some questions to ask about that. And we saw a very brave and courageous, wonderful sharing of Angela, letting us know how she has used the career criteria activity. And even though she's done a version of it before, it was something that is still evoking some thought and curiosity for her. So thank you for that, Angela. And I don't think we've got any questions. Still no, making sure there's no questions. I don't want to leave you hanging. And if you're feeling shy and you want to email me or message me some questions afterwards that I'll address tomorrow, that's okay too. Sometimes it's a lot to absorb everything in the moment. And then, here we are doing the summary, and Angela shared her takeaways or what was helpful for her today, and hopefully others have found their own ways that they were helped today and found some value from the time in what we did today for this career clarity hack. And then finally, the opportunities, the challenge opportunity, and hopefully somebody will, a couple of people might take themselves up for the challenge opportunities there. And if you've got any questions, just let me know and I'll do my best to get to them later tonight. And a big thank you, and again, as we start to wind down. So I want to be very mindful of this time, this precious time that you spent with me today and with your other friends from all around the world and around the city, for some people who are here local. And for the people who are in internet land on YouTube and Facebook rather than here live in the session with me, I'm going to invite our live audience to give 3 words that we can say to the people who are out in internet land, so I can know that they've been here live with us too, and that they'll get the bonuses that I'll tell you about in a moment what the bonus is going to be. So would anybody like to volunteer words? Otherwise, I might just pull some words out of our discussion that we've got today. Have I got any words coming? I'll just give a minute. Drum roll. Okay. No words for our internet land people. Okay, the one word is going to be sharing. Thank you, Angela. And then the other phrase, also from Angela, I'm going to grab that, is going to be twilight career. Yes, can I ask you just to make a note of these and send them to me later on so I remember? Okay, so sharing, twilight career, and then the last one is going to be empowerment. Thank you, Lynn, for the empowerment word there. So we've got our 3 words there, and so actually, okay. Oh wow! Thank you, Matt. Matt's been my scribe. Sharing, twilight career, and empowerment. Wow, clever you. Okay, so thank you, everyone. Okay, and now I'm sure you want to know what you get for being here and being so engaged for all this time. And again, thank you for being here. But I have a coaching document. Thank you, Frank. Frank really wants to know. I have a coaching document and it's a 360. I'm not sure if people are used to 360s that they might do at work in terms of and a review when you have that time of the year. But this is a 360 that you can send and invite maybe at least 3 people in your life around you, maybe 5 if you're a real keener, or maybe more. But it's a document that can be really insightful. And as we get more clarity about ourselves, it is something that is the more information and the more data, the better decisions that we can make overall. So I'll be sending that 360 document to you all who have been so engaged and stayed here, and then also letting you know in terms of for the people who are out in YouTube and Facebook land, if you put sharing Twilight Career and empowerment in a message to me or an email, then I'll know to send you the resources. Of course, you'll have to give me your email so I can send those to you. So big thank you to everyone. Thank you again to Angela for being so brave and coming up. And I want to, I'm looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow. And you're welcome to bring friends too. To get unstuck in your career. Wow, there's all these emojis on my screen. It's like so exciting. And I'm getting like little dopamine hits like crazy here. So the next challenge to get unstuck in your career, and it'll be tomorrow at the same bat time at 12:30 Pacific. And I put up this, it's snowy out here, and I have tried ice hockey and it's really hard. So that's been a challenge for me. So I invite you to keep on challenging yourself as well. And I also have my contact information here, which I have forgotten to give in past, but here it is for my contact information if you want to contact me or have any questions about any of my services or my membership that I am going to tell you more about in the next couple of days. And there's also a very special link here just for you all. So this is just for the people who are here that I'm sharing this with. And if you are wanting to book a discovery call here, if you're new to the work that I'm doing, please feel free to use that link as well. And we've got 1 minute to spare. So if anyone has any rapid firing questions, just let me know. And Frank, thank you. All of the ways that you can follow me. Yes, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. There you go. So, whichever form. And there's also phone and email. Remember them. So they're different ways. Okay. And no TikTok. I'm not ready for TikTok. Maybe TikTok's not ready for me. So thank you everybody for being here today. Thank you for your attention and your enthusiasm. For our VIPs, Angela et al., I will be jumping into the other session after this, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Oh, Lynn's telling me to stay away from TikTok. There you go. And it's not old people, experienced, very wise people. Okay, everyone, thank you. And the replays will be on Facebook and YouTube and in the link of where the resources are. Any questions, you've got lots of ways to contact me as well. And I can't wait to see you tomorrow. And we'll do day 2 and unstuck your career. Unstick, stock, okay, whatever. TikTok, no TikTok. Goodbye, everyone. See you tomorrow.